name's Matt Woods. I'm an exercise physiologist, track and cross country coach, and lifelong runner. I have a passion for distance running, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about running media, specifically Runner's World, and some of the influences and impact that these forms of media have had on my life and my career and my passion for running. Runner's World is a monthly print magazine that has existed, I think, since about the 1960s. It's probably the only publication specifically focused on running that's still in existence here in the United States. And they have versions throughout the world. So different countries throughout the world have their own specific version of it. When I first started running back in the 1980s, we were in the midst of the running boom. And at that time, print media was all that there was. We didn't have the internet, and if you wanted information on a particular topic, you generally resorted to print media. They would convey different training techniques, and the coaches and exercise physiologists that were pioneers at the time, and that just had a big impact on my interest in pursuing that field. I still look to it as a resource, and anytime I see it on the newsstand, I always pick it up, and I've subscribed over the years, but haven't in recent years. And I still like to pick it up and look through it and see if there's anything new that may leave an impression or inform me of something I may not be in tune with. The magazine, I think, did a much better job at that time of conveying who the heroes were in the sport, and kind of what some of the personalities of the sport were from around the world. And just being exposed to that opened up a whole new perspective on a lot of things for me. And I think ultimately it did influence my career choice. I still think that, the fact that it even exists in the print format in this era is surprising. The internet and websites and forums and so forth have really taken over the transmission of race results, for example, and for there to be a print publication that particularly beginning runners can resort to for information and guidelines and learn about kind of the latest trends. And they still cover some of the elite runners and coaches and so forth. So I think on the whole, the magazine has stayed true to its roots, so to speak, but there's definitely a change in the target audience a little bit, moving away from the performance aspect more to the health and participatory aspect, I would say. A lot of people going back to 1972 would attribute the beginning of the running boom to Frank Shorter and his winning of the Olympic marathon at the 1972 Munich Olympics. And Frank Shorter was an American distance runner, and having won a gold medal and having that be televised, a lot of people were influenced by that. I felt kind of like a lone wolf in many ways as a young runner. And I think knowing that there were a lot of people out there that had a similar interest and had a passion and love for distance running, and that there were people who respected the sport and felt that it was a worthwhile endeavor, I think that was probably an effect or a benefit that having a publication such as Runner's World had to me. About 2 or 3 years ago, out of the blue, I was contacted by one of the editors of Runner's World, and I immediately recognized the name, and they wanted me to answer a physiology-related question and just kind of give a simplified explanation of the basic physiological concept. And I wrote a response to the question, and a few months later it was published in Runner's World. So that was kind of a unique experience, and I was surprised and happy to have the opportunity to do that.